Hello, my friends. This is Colleen from my craft closet, and today I am doing a layout share to show you the pages that I have created with cut files. I am participating in a YouTube hop called Cut File Craze, which is on the 15th of each month, and over on YouTube, Book of Shayla is the one who started this, and thank you for allowing me to join it. Today I have 6 layouts that use cut files, and I ended up using 5 of the cut files for my stash because that is one of my goals this year, to use my cut files, because I told myself I cannot buy any more cut files until I use the ones that I have. And so today I'm going to go through the 6 layouts and tell you where the cut files came from and show you my layouts. So this first layout, the cut file here is this teacup. And this is from 31 Days of Cut Files, August of 2024 is when I purchased it. And it was down here on the 5th week. And this was designed by Janet Fritz, which is Galaxy Girl Creations. And so you can see I have used very few of these. And so my plan is to use as many as I can. So this particular cut file, you can see I made the tags in pink and put heart embellishments on it, and I kind of wondered who puts 2 tea bags in their teacup. I'm the kind of person, when I make a cup of tea, you can tell from here that I don't leave the tea bag in, for one, and I usually make very weak tea, and sometimes I reuse the tea bags. So that is where this cut file came from. The paper is from a Cartabella line. And this bird up here, one of my other goals this year, is to use my stamps and my dies and other things in my craft room that I haven't used very much. And this bird here, I stamped it and I colored it and I inked it. And so I'm quite proud of that bird. It looks very much like the one on my teacup. And anything else on here? This says remember. This says love this life. Grateful. Remember this. No ordinary day. But this layout is mainly about tea and scones. I love this teacup. When we saw it at Cracker Barrel, it is still my favorite teacup. And then over here is a picture of a teacup and something else that I love. This is my mom's gluten-free orange and cranberry scones. Yummy. And my mom had made that for my birthday. So we bought this cup probably 6-7 years ago. And to this day, I still use this cup when I have a cup of tea. And I don't mix my teacups and my coffee cups. I don't drink tea out of a cup I drink coffee out of. And that is just one of my habits. So that's my first cut file that I wanted to share with you. Now, all the other cut files that I'm using for the next 5 pages are from 31 Days of Cut File Fun, August 2022. And I'm going to be using from week 1, which is from Just Nick cut files. Just Nick Studios, excuse me, our Everyday Memories with Just Nick Studios. I'm going to be using this one. From week 2, I'll be using the hike and the fresh air. And week 2 is Adventures with Pear Tree cut files. From week 3, I did not use any. Week 4, I didn't use any this time. Week 5, I used this one here, the film strip one, which is from In the Moment with Artstock. And so those are the cut files I used, and now to see my layouts. Okay, on this particular layout, and all of these layouts in this stack, there's 5 pages and one's a double page layout. I am using the cut files from August of 2022. This one is Fresh Air, and I took my various green inks and a teeny bit of brown, and I ink blended those colors on the white cut file, and then I backed it. All the other embellishments here and up in here are from my Creative Memories stash. This sentiment, it's your story, and these boot footprints I stamped, so I was using some of my stamps. And these pictures in this set of layouts are all from October 2nd of 2023, and this was our second trip up into Canada, and this is when hubby and I went at the end of September and the very beginning of October. And we did many smaller adventures this particular trip because I had just finished radiation. I was still very tired and was easily tired out. So we kind of did very small trips during the early part of the day and then rested and watched some Netflix while we were on vacation, and it was just mainly so I could rest up. And so that day in particular, we went to a nature center, and here is a picture of the map of the nature center, and this was in Boisbriand in Quebec, Canada, and Quebec province, where we were staying is about an hour west of Montreal, and that's where we stay many times when we've gone up in Canada. And so here you can see the various trails that are here, and it's a very wooded area. You're walking along the river front. And in this trails, you will see there's an exercise circuit. There's a couple observation points where you can see the river. That's where this particular picture was taken. There's a boat launch. There's a picnic area. And there's very diverse flora and fauna. And so here I'm showing some of the different fauna that grows in the area. And this picture was taken from right about this location. Okay, so that's my first cut file. The second one that I have to share with you is this boot that says hike. And here the pictures are from this same nature center, and here's one of the signs. And notice that they're all in French because we are in Quebec province, and many times things are completely in French. Sometimes you'll see both English and French, but most of the time it's completely in French. And so you can see this was a walk on very nice trails in the woods. And up here I wrote the trails were peaceful and quiet. It was a perfect day. These were from a swap with Ginger's Corners a couple years ago. And the other stickers down here are from my Creative Memories stash. And just to get it out there, you notice that I did this cut file backwards. Yep. I first did the letters for hike, and then I realized it was backwards, and since you can really tell what it says, I figured scrapbookers would notice immediately. But my family, when they're viewing the album, or later on when hubby and I are viewing the album, we will still know that that says hike. And so that is my second layout with cut files. This is my third, and it happens to be a double page, and I'm using the circles that had some leaves in it. And I actually inked it with some sprays, and then I backed it with a wood grain, and I colored also in the leaves. And so I cut it up in thirds. Here's a part, here's a part, and then on the second page, there is the other part of this cut file. And so the pictures are about still this nature center and the trails. And in this nature center, they had various places where they would show you some exercises to do. So this says an exercise stop to stretch and work on your leg muscles. Jay and I both showed off our moves doing physical therapy on our walk because Jay's on this page and I'm on the second half of the layout. And what else did I use here? I used some embellishments. I created this embellishment, and you can see the little rabbit peeking around the tree. This embellishment was from Ginger's Corner, and this one was actually created by Ginger herself. The title is Wilderness Adventure. And then down here, this picture shows you, you know, in this one area, this was an educational center that taught about tree rings and about figuring the age of tree and other things that we can learn from a tree ring. So all these little boxes were a station where you could stop and read and learn about these things. And Jay and I, when we go on these different walks, we usually take the time to read almost everything, and that is part of our fun. This is a giant tree ring. In fact, this box was at the very beginning of this educational stop, and this tree ring, this tree trunk section, was taller than both Jay and I. And so what else to tell you about this adventuring sentiment? I stamped myself in this tree ring on this page, and there's one on the next page. I colored and stamped it. I stamped it and then I colored it with ink, blended it with ink, and so it was something that I made. So using my stamps, which I don't use as much when I'm making a scrapbook page. This is the second half of the layout, and here you can see there's still lots of woods. There's the hubby that says love your smile. This says right here, right now, I'm doing my physical therapy exercise, seeing the world. The title is Nature Lover, for the record, and there you can see the other tree ring that I stamped. I have a dragonfly stamp. This tree was from an embellishment swap with Ginger's Corners made by Kristin B. in 2024. I received that. This is one that I made, and this is, of course, the other part of the cut file. And this particular sketch is a sketch by Ginger, and it is a recent sketch that you can find over on Ginger's Corners, and it is part of a Sketchy Kind of Joy. It's the March Game of the Month for this month of March 2026. So you can go on over there and look at the sketches. I think there's 6 or 7. And you can actually add your layout to the album and participate. And I believe there is a drawing for some sort of prize. This is the last cut file, and it is the film strip one, and I kind of backed it with some gray stone paper, and then I kind of cut it in half. And this is still in the Nature Center, and these are some sculptures, and we saw quite a few sculptures in the Nature Center, but these are 2 that I took a photo of. And then below it, I kind of wrote what the sculptures were about, the translation in English. This is The Canoeists, and it was made by the artist Roger Hireman in 2011. It's a representation of a man and a bear canoeing, and that is why I chose this embellishment of the canoe and the bear and the canoe and some of the bear footprints that you see on the layout. This photo is translated I'm Waiting, and artist is Bozina Hapek. 2011 it was created, and it's a representation of a heron fishing. And you can't really tell very much from the photo, but here is the beak, and these are the legs, and this must be the head of the heron, and that's why I have a fish here. And so this is a big tag that I had. I was glad to finally use that up out of my stash. Wander, a pair of boots, the date October 2nd, 2023, explore, get outside, and here is a compass. I don't remember where that's from. This binoculars is very old creative memories, and I have the bear footprints, nature, and what inspired me to fill in each part of the film strip was I had a sticker, this one here, fresh air, that This whole thing is a sticker inside the square, and when I saw it fit in there perfectly, and I put this little word nature, I thought, oh, why don't I fill in all the squares as much as I can? And so that is my layouts for Cut File Craze. As I said, I used 5 different cut files, and I made a total of 6 pages. Thank you for joining me. If you want to see more cut file examples and some really great ones, the playlist will be linked down below. And this is Cut File Craze, which is on the 15th of every month. All right, thank you, my friends. We'll talk again soon. Bye.